Welcome once again to another Chess.com podcast, and in today's podcast we're going to look at same coloured bishop endings and why it's important to have your bishop on the same coloured square as your opponent's pawns and on the opposite colour to your pawns. And this endgame is taken from a video that I found online by Roman Dinzishvili. Now, Roman is one of the greatest known and one of the best teachers of chess. He's very good in the opening, and he helped people with their repertoire such as Garry Kasparov. He's an extremely brilliant chess player. He's a grandmaster, and he makes videos for Chess.com, and I believe there are quite a few on there that he's done now. You have to pay and be a member to see some of them, but there are other videos on there which you don't have to pay to see, so I suggest that you head over to Chess.com and check out some of those videos. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, in this position, if it was black to move, it's clearly a loss because black would have to cede ground, and we'll see that in just a second. But first we'll look at what happens if it's white's move. Now, white actually can't make much progress. He can't take a pawn, obviously, because the bishop's protecting both pawns, and he doesn't want to cede ground with his king, because this just allows black to defend quite easily. So what white has to play in a position like this is a quiet move, something like bishop f3. And black's position is very locked down. His king can't move away because it allows the white king in, and the pawn will drop and be promoted soon. And the bishop is the only piece that can move. If the bishop moves to somewhere like d7, keeping an eye on the c6 pawn, then all white has to play is bishop g2. Obviously, just bringing it back to e4 is no good, because as soon as black goes to e8, it's just a repeated position. So the second kind of quiet move, if you like, is bishop to g2, which forces the bishop back to e8, and then bishop e4, and we have the same position, but now it's black to move. If black tried to move to f7, for example, then simply bishop takes c6. If the king moved to d7, for example, then king to f6, and again it's just a one endgame for white. So that's the first position. Let's look at the second, slightly more complicated position. So this is the second position, and as we can see, it's not symmetrical, and this time white can't simply pick and choose which pawn to attack. For example, if you try to do the quiet move to e2 to attack the b5 pawn, then the bishop has to come to either d7 or c6, and after a quiet move the bishop to f1, the bishop's got the extra square to play with, so there's no problem here for the black bishop. So what the white player has to do is he has to attack the pawn which gives the black bishop the least number of squares to move to, which means attacking the pawn on g6. So bishop to c2, bishop to f7 is the only sensible move, bishop to b1 using that quiet waiting move, bishop to e8, and then bishop goes back to d3. It's black to move, and therefore it's black to lose. There's nothing black can do in this position. If the bishop moves, he loses the pawn straight off, and if the king moves over, then simply king to c5, and it's just going to be a very easy one endgame for white. So there's the two examples, just showing you the importance of using or having your pawns on the opposite colour of your opponent's bishop, and hopefully having your opponent's pawns on the same colour square as your bishop. You want your opponent's pawns to be a target, and you want your pawns to not be a target, and also to be on squares that allow your bishop to have more freedom to move around the board. I hope you've enjoyed this short Chess.com podcast. And like I say, if you want to find out more about Roman and his great videos, head over to the Chess.com website. Thank you for watching.